So they'll be calling you a radical, and so everybody's fled. I've learned along the way, and I knew this when I was young. People have no fucking interest in the reality or the truth. And denial's a death sentence. I did an interview yesterday, and we're going to talk about this is going to be important day. Remember the really important day. And so just so you know, there'll be some anonymous stuff breaking today. So it's an important day, really important day. And I did an interview yesterday for the 10-year anniversary of my cancer. It's going to be a big deal. It's going to be a big event. I in an interview with a medical journal yesterday. Of course, HIPAA laws won't allow me to put my name in there. And I'm like, well, fuck, perfect. I'm shadow banned all of it. I just do all the dirty work for all these years. And they says, what is your number one? You'll be the first one we know of in the history of the United States, maybe the world, to cite OS de novo willingly without a transplant. What is your number one reason? We did a long interview. Very emotional. Remember the 5th of November, 8 years ago right now, I was fucking leading that historic march that nobody got. They shadow banned the Million Mass March. I says, living in the reality. Living in the reality. Living in the know. Not living in denial. Living in the reality. In a logical, intelligent way. Can you elaborate? And I did. I says, yeah, Fukushima. You can go in denial about it. You doctors, everybody. Not me. I'm not going to denial. So there's a pod of killer whales in Santa Barbara. And it's been, oh, how wonderful. They're starving to death. They're fucking searching for food. They're eating, whatever they can fucking eat. There's no sills left down there, hardly at all. So, I'll tag this simply, the nuclear emperor has no fucking clothes. And it's really, that's what it is. That's what it is. This is a story yesterday at the COP26, which has turned into an imperialist emperor freak show. Bezos speaks. Bezos is an elected official. Bezos is not a diplomat. These are self-proclaimed. Well, you crown them king. When you crown king, nothing. All these guys are going to get cancer. They're no different than you and I. You think they are, and you worship them like they are. They're no different. Ask Steve Jobs. Ask freaking Paul Allen. They're no different. They're going to get cancer, and they're going to die. Young. Who isn't? That's the world we're in now. Because you've traded in dogma. Give me dogma or give me death, and you chose death. Dogma. So, the content really is what matters. This is a research library at this point. The sheep, I learned a long time ago when, I would get 30, 40,000 videos, whatever. All I did is spend all my time policing my site because the masses gone. It's a research PhD. It's ongoing. It's historic. That's what I told them yesterday. Place it in the library and hope some young, brilliant, freaking person that's going to help change the world, it's there. Which Kevin Blanch has done that. You think the nuclear energy has thrown the kitchen sink, literally, at me. You name it, they've done it. That's okay. They've gotten beat. You think they're winning, they're not. They're losing. Killer whales in Santa Barbara. Maybe they're feeding on sewer. Maybe they're feeding on oil from your consumption junky ships. Your cruise line ships that dump your excess. They're starving to death. They're starving to death! Big fish eat little fish. So, at the COP yesterday, the head of the IAEA, the emperor, now this is important, historic, gives a speech and says no one has died from radiation from Fukushima. And the crowd laughed. He says, why are you laughing? Now, stay with me. This is the greatest the nuclear emperor has no clothes. I was so famous in Japan, you don't even want to know. I wasn't being filtered in Japan until 2013. Late 2013, State Secrets Act. I would get hundreds of emails. If you don't believe me, you go ask Rachel Godoy, you go ask Kathy Iwani, you go ask the former Prime Minister of Japan. Yeah, Khan was the Prime Minister. He was an anti-nuclear. Obama forced him out. And they've propped up this nuclear cover-up, radical far right. How did the far right, Putin, Japan, Alex Jones how's the far right turned into this pro-nuclear place in the world? How did that happen? I don't get it. How the right has turned into imperialist worshippers. I don't get that. And then the left, they're just in denial. The former Prime Minister of Japan came up to me twice, personally, right up to me, bowed to me, with tears in his eyes. Thank you, Kevin Blanch, for all your work. But that means nothing to fucking the sheep, my work that I've done. I'm at the IAEA. Now get this, I'm there. Multiple times. The head of the IAEA, who this guy has taken his position because he's dead of cancer, I talked to personally, from right here. You're really going to Japan. He's Japanese, by the way, living in Vienna. You go to that reactor, you go there, you're going to get cancer and it will kill you. Sandra told him that. I told him that personally. Oh, he went. I'm in Vienna. We went in Vienna. I'm there when he died. Shortly thereafter. I'm standing there. They have to go by me because I have the Blanche box there. They have to all go right by me. I raised such a stir there, you don't even want to know. Strategically positioned, I'm strategic. I talked to a young woman yesterday. Look, just do this little view. We'll even keep it private. But I can send it to a person I know at the news desk. As long as it's not me, I'll video you and I'll get it to her and she'll see if we can't get this up. That's where I've gone with this YouTube site. I'm very, very tactical. I'm very surgical now. I have to be. So, he dies. Young. Dead young. I'm all over the eye. He's dead. Amano's dead. What did he die from? Oh, no. Well, surely it wasn't cancer. Oh, it's Fukushima. Died of cancer. The head of the Fukushima 50's mother sent me an email in 2013, said he's got cancer from Fukushima. He'll be dead within 2 weeks. He died and I reported this right on this site. I'm out in front all the time, but that doesn't mean shit to the sheep. Who's the fucking media? The Pope himself, goes to Japan. The Christian Coalition issues a statement 3-4 years ago, went through all over Japan, and says, in mosques, in churches, all over, in temples, Buddhist temples, there are urns all over by the thousands, many, many thousands. They're simple, marked, unknown. You look at the back, you read it, the urn, it says Fukushima worker. Name unknown, origin unknown. The Pope comes over and makes a statement about it. Said it's so disgusting. Now remember, this is Pope Francis, the saint of anti-usury. Nuclear energy is the greatest usury in history. By the way, breaking news, Jesse Muslim, it's safer. So then they come out and the farmers are saying the lakes around Fukushima are not safe. No shit. Thank you, Mr. But what about that big lake that's to the that big pond that's fucking right on the edge of where this disaster happened? Oh, that's called the Pacific Ocean. They poisoned it. Evidence means nothing to people. My tide pool work is beyond a Nobel Prize, way past those fuckers. Way fucking over the top. I talked to a professor, he says, well, you're way more than a PhD. And I says, yeah, you think? You think, and I live in abject poverty, fucking struggle, fucking what I've put up with. I really am the new Semmelweis. Who would have believed it? I remember learning about Semmelweis when I was young, and I'm like, what? What? In Vienna, of all places, who were all over atom theory, who were all over germ theory in the way early days. Semmelweis, there's little invisible germs that fly through the fucking air. Doctors need to wash their hands. That's blasphemy. He proved it. He was a doctor for 10 years. He proved it. He made his freaking nurses and doctors wash their hands at childbirth, and the women lived. The other women were continued to die. He proved it. By his survival rate went up 10 times theirs. That doesn't mean nothing. Blasphemy. They fucking beat him to death in a rubber room. Threw him in the fucking crazy bin. Well, look what they did to Tesla. Look what they did to Albert Einstein. Oh, he's the greatest genius in the world, yeah? They just fucking annihilated his legs. What they did to Andrei Sakharov. Look what they did to Oppenheimer. Anybody that stood up to these fuckers. Fucking killer whales in Santa Barbara. Are you kidding me? Fuck. The ocean's so fucking out of water. They're starving. They're starving. You've genocided the Pacific Ocean. And your apathy, you've stood by your apathy. Your silence is their violence. Not me. Not me. And like I said, the nuclear energy emperor has no clothes. They laugh. Obviously they laugh. Fucking Fukushima's killed fucking tens of millions of people. Here in North America, cancer rates skyrocketed post-Fukushima. Oh, I know. Not commentary. I was in a bone marrow transplant center. I lived there for 5 years. That was my address, my home. Cancer rates went psycho. I will quote the great oncologist in Oregon who took on Fukushima with side by side with Kevin, who got cancer side by side with me. She got aggressive. These cancers post-Fukushima in Oregon are more aggressive, they're more radical, and they're more intense, and they've spiked dramatically. Of course, she got it and died. Rachel Carson. Yeah, her. I've only got a few days till the 10-year mark of the first chemo that went in. I had chemo. I'm alive. I was thinking about last night. What really devastated me is when my heart failed. My heart's good, but my aortic valve. I had a heart murmur anyway as a child. My uncle, the heart surgeon, advised me on it. So I just kicked the can, but he didn't realize that the medical system was fucking broken and fucking... I was a millionaire when I got cancer. Nobody came to my fucking side except my few friends on this YouTube site. I almost starved to death. Devastated me. I was physically a beast, even after the cancer treatment, till that heart failed. That open heart surgery was a motherfucker. Really a motherfucker. I told them that yesterday. My gallbladder rupture, I had AirCM squared the mushroom root. I had no chance to live. No chance. I mean, my chance of survival was over. I had multiple myeloma, AML, de novo. The average life expectancy of the disease that's in my fucking body is fucking 60 days. I got misdiagnosed for 30 of it. Almost cost me my life. I mean, horrible fucking doctors. Fucking nasty nightmare liars. Until I finally saw Vincent and Fimbo, those Danish boys. Thank God for them. Something rotten in the New Denmark. It saved my life. And those great Weber State nurses saved my life. I found a YouTube video with 14 views. I always think of that video. I think I have videos with hundreds of thousands. What be fucking do? All you're going to get is bullshit fucking comments fucking from fucking dogmatic fucking ignorant fucking freak shows who live in fucking... Peter Stoops said yesterday, if ignorance is bliss, knowing the truth has got to be some kind of epic fucking masochist. The nuclear energy emperor has no... They laugh. Fukushima has killed fucking millions. Millions. Breaking news yesterday. They literally live in a fucking abstract freak show. But you should go in that building. I get arrested every time I go in there. I work with FEMN. We did so much work. Look what they did to FEMN. Look what they did to Aaron Swartz. Look what they did to Megan Rice. Barry Antoinette, Obama, Donald Trump. Look what they did to Ma. Look what they did to Julian Assange. Look what they did to WikiLeaks. Look what they did to the whole million mask marchers. Fuck Black Lives Matter steals it. Hashtag and they're going to take credit. I was not born